Hi everyone, welcome back to Smash Hit, the game everyone loves for some reason, I guess. So, today I think I'm going to talk about horror movies, because I'm a huge fan of that genre. Um, Personally, I think I'm just going to discuss, what I think of each, like, main horror characters. I like Michael Myers, but I feel like they don't do enough with his character in a way. And it's very limited in the sense he doesn't fucking talk, so they can't necessarily they can it's pretty hard to fucking give him any type of personality besides psycho murderer. Um Jason Voorhees kind of has the same problem, but his backstory is explained a bit more in my I think it's explained a bit better. Ghostface, I actually really like the Scream movies. I think they're really funny. And I think they're really good at uh what they do essentially. But um they do get kind of bad. Like Saw, or not Saw. Like the third one was garbage in all honesty, which kind of sucked because they had like the cool like voice recorder if I remember correctly, which was a super interesting concept. Now you can't trust anything you're told unless you see the person telling it to you. But they didn't really do anything with it, and it was kind of bad in general. I'm a huge fan of the Saw movies as well. I think they're pretty cool. They work well in my opinion. They just work really well. Like, well, the first few do. Anything after the fourth one is just you're watching it because you want to see how bad it gets. Um, Hellraiser, that's a great one in my opinion because it kind of taps into that like you don't know what he could do, which makes him really scary in a way. And I feel like that's something that's really good to tap into. Um, what else is there? Oh, the Texas Chainsaw Massacre. I like some of the Texas Chainsaw Massacres. They're okay. They're not my favorite. You kind of feel bad for the main, like, what's his name, Bubba? Yeah, you kind of feel bad for him when you watch him because you know it's not his fault, and it's just kind of kind of hurts to watch. But I watched them anyways, so sadism kick in. But I'm trying to think of other franchises now. Fuck, ain't nothing come to mind. I really should have scripted this one, or like added talking points. But I don't know. Horror movies are kind of. I understand why people don't like horror movies because they're all kind of the same after a while. Oh, the Conjuring movies, those are decent. I like those. Oh, the Chucky movies. I don't like Chucky. He doesn't scare me. Which is weird because I have like a fear of like mannequins and shit. So I don't know why he doesn't scare me. He just doesn't, I guess. Which is weird because you think he'd be one of the scariest things for me. Um, I don't know. I just don't have a fear of something I can punt across a room, I suppose. I'm trying to think of other things. Oh right, there's a new Conjuring movie coming out, isn't there? I hope it's good. I might watch it later. You know what I mean? Like when it's out on not on DVD. When it's like really cheap or some shit. Who knows? But trying to think of whether I should can't speak English. Whether or not I should switch subjects right now. Um, no, I'm not gonna switch. I might later though. So, I didn't like the new Halloween movie. In all honesty, it felt too, I don't know. They gave everyone like, it was just not good in my opinion. It looked pretty, I guess, but it just wasn't my cup of tea this time around. So, that kind of sucked. Um, isn't there like another? No. Is there? Isn't there like another Texas Chainsaw Massacre like, supposed to come out soon? I don't know about that one. Maybe I just made that one up. Because I don't remember seeing anything about that. I just maybe I just won another one, so my brain's like, yeah, there's another one coming out. Trying to think of good horror movies coming out. Kind of sucks that we missed what's it called? Yeah, that we missed like Halloween in theaters due to that one virus YouTube doesn't like you talking about, if I remember correctly. You know the one. Starts with a T, ends with a 19. Fuck, I'm down to one ball again. God damn it. Oh well. But trying to think of other stuff to talk about. I could talk about Lovecraft, I guess. Not his cat's name, but I could talk about the actual work he did. Because he made some interesting shit. But no, I think I should stick with the concept of horror movies. Um, so one of my favorite things about horror movies is that they can, how do I put this? They're very good at certain things. Like creepy, like I like more of the creepy stalker vibe than the oh he's coming after you. Oh look at him run. But I don't know. It's just kind of hard to talk about. I really should have scripted. Really should have scripted this, but no, no scripts. Fuck that. Fuck. I don't know, man. I suppose, in a sense, horror movies. I don't know. They're just fun to watch. There's no grandiose reason, in my opinion, to watch a horror movie besides to look at the pretty people or to look at the pretty colors as everyone runs away into the fucking straight into death. Evil Dead. I need to watch Evil Dead as a series. Apparently, people keep recommending it to me, or whatever the fuck it's called, Evil Dead or something like that. Oh, I haven't even talked about Alien or Predator. Don't watch the new Predator movie. It's absolute garbage in every sense of the word. I've had, I've seen funnier fucking Lele Pond skits. And that, we all know who that is. Or, maybe you don't. Who cares? She's bad comedian or some shit. Makes YouTube videos, apparently. But, anyways, that slight reference aside. Sorry. Still kind of tired. Ugh. I feel like was a really good series until they started. Yeah, let's talk about the fucking problem with sequels and how every goddamn movie that makes money gets a sequel. Um, yeah, that's not a good idea. Most of the fear factor and shit goes away once there's more than like one or two movies of it. Unless you actively have talented writers constantly looking forward and thinking of what to do to make this character more intimidating. Your character's just gonna be fucking bland and predictable. I mean, Michael Myers does the same shit practically every time. Until you get to like the fifth or the, I think it's the fourth and the fifth, where they start doing all that weird shit with like him being spiritually linked to someone. Yeah, that got weird in my opinion. The Halloween series, it's really fucking weird with its characters. But um I feel like one series that does really well um is Scream, because it can like poke fun at itself, you know what I mean? Like Scream has the ability to just constantly like berate itself because it's got whatever it's called in the movie. It's got like its own little like it's got like the concept of stab or the concept of Scream in its like a little short thing stab, which is like this. It exists in the universe of Scream, and it's basically Scream in Scream, and it's kind of funny. And they always like poke fun at themselves in it. And to be fair, they do have some actual legitimate likable characters. So, I mean, in the end, it's pretty good series. I mean, nobody really liked the third, and the second was a bit bullshit with who they killed like instantly. You know, that whole killing the fan favorite's not a good idea thing. But at the end of the day, I can sit down and bench all of the bench all of the Scream movies to have myself a relatively decent night. Um, which is something you can't say about a lot of horror movie series. Normally, you watch like one or two, and you're just like, haha, I'm fucking done. I'm fucking. These characters fucking suck, and I'm done. Which, to be fair, it does make sense. A lot of horror movies don't focus on character development or anything like that for very long because it takes away from the horror. So why the fuck would you focus on character? Like if there was a horror movie that spent like half its time focusing on character development, just making you really like the characters, it's a horror movie. You know someone's gonna fucking die, so there's no point in getting emotionally attached, right? But besides that, in general, I like horror movies. I liked the first season of Stranger Things too. Everything after that was kind of meh, and the third season was kind of absolute trash. I did like the little like nostalgic bits in Stranger Things, but you can only go so far with nostalgia. You know what I mean? Nostalgia is not an infinite pool of like stuff to like constantly use. Nostalgia works best in small doses, believe it or not, because the it's like, okay, cool, I get it. There's tape recorders and they're playing Dungeons and Dragons. Um, that's all cool, you know, very reminiscent of childhood or whatever the fuck. But at the end of the day, that doesn't guarantee you're gonna make a good move, like a good show. I mean, the characters were likable enough. Nothing spectacular, in my opinion. Steve was kind of a dick. But hey, he's in Dead by Daylight, so. Oh, and he sounds god awful in that game. Jesus Christ. Anyways, I'm trying to think of like, I think the concept of a show dedicated to just constantly switching like uh horror stories in between like every episode. I feel like that would be really cool to watch for a while. So till they start getting on like less and less creative, and then it just gets boring. But like besides that, I'm not really sure. Like I suppose it's cool seeing characters have their own specialized weapons. You know what I mean? Their own specific weapon they like using above all else. Michael Myers has a knife. And um trying to think of other shit. I thought everyone had a weapon. Like, I guess not, because I can't think of anything. But that aside, I'm a huge horror movie fan. I don't think. Okay, hear me out here. Because this is like my only controversial movie belief. I don't think Leprechaun is a horror movie. I don't think it is. It's just not scary in like any way. Maybe that's just me personally. Maybe it's just not scary though, so I can't call it a horror movie. It never scared me. You know what I mean? It's not a horror movie if it doesn't scare you. And Leprechaun is like the least scary fucking thing I've ever heard of. Also, I'm sure it's a bit offensive to the Irish. Though I am the Irish, so I suppose that's... Yeah. I, an Irishman, deem it offensive. It's just very... I don't know. It's just kind of bad. It's not funny either. You know? It's just not a funny movie. It's not a good movie. It's not something I enjoy watching. It's just kind of trash. I mean, I guess I see the appeal. I just don't have it, so... So that kind of sucks, I guess. Ugh. I'm really trying to think now. Because that's... Let me talk more about aliens, actually. Because the concept is pretty cool, in my opinion. It's like it's like an apex predator type of thing, you know? Like this thing, it's gonna fucking kill you. It's gonna fuck you up pretty severely. And, you don't want to get fucked up severely in a horror movie, so... That's not good. I do feel like of all the characters that don't talk, it's best when shit like a xenomorph doesn't speak English, you know what I mean? Or like any language. I feel like that's really smart, just because most of the time, like, this is Michael Myers. He doesn't talk. Why doesn't he talk? Uh, don't know. We don't really have a valid reason for it. He just don't talk. And in its own sense, that works. But in other senses, it's kind of just played out, I guess. You got all these characters like Michael Myers, you got Jason Voorhees, you got fucking... What's his name? You got Bubba from... You got Bubba from fucking Texas Chainsaw Massacre. It's an interesting character, and a bit sad, but at the end of the day, it's he doesn't speak like Well, actually, isn't that a lie? Doesn't he speak... I forget. Doesn't he speak, like, very broken, nonsensical English or something like that? I forget. I forget entirely. My memory's not good at all. I feel like horror movies need to start adapting, though, you know what I mean? Because it's been the same basic shit, like, year and year after. Which builds up this, like, nice little nostalgic bubble, I suppose. Because you're like, oh, I remember seeing something like that and Saw. Which, okay, one of my favorite horror, like, my favorite characters in any movie is Detective Tapp from Saw. Which is weird, because he's not, like, that interesting a character. I just really like him for some reason. I think it's kind of bullshit they killed him off instantly. And because, personally, when I watch a movie, I start thinking of, like, what's gonna happen to every character. And with him, because he survived, like, the slash to the throat in the first, and he, like, at first survived the slash to the throat, my brain was like, okay, I guess we're gonna have a reoccurring character here, huh? That's kind of cool. I like that. And then he dies. And then I was like, oh, fuck you, movie. Fuck you. Fuck you. Then again, you don't want him to have, like, the Laurel Strode effect. I can't pronounce her fucking name to save my life. The Strode effect, I'm just gonna call it that. Where your main character just keeps coming back for fucking ever. Because that gets pretty fucking boring. Especially in a horror movie, when characters die a lot. Especially because I never got invested into the character of Laurel Strode. So, it was kind of just like, oh, she's back. Great. And then she doesn't come back at some point. That's also great, I guess. But, like, besides that, I like Ripley from Aliens. She's a cool character. Because like she's like a realistic, strong woman type of character. And not like that, like, hyper feminist way where your character has to be, like, absolute fucking god. I mean, in the realistic sense. Like, she's an engineer, she's smart, she has common sense. Like, she's a realistic character in a few ways. She, like, learns and adapts to her situation, which makes her even better as a character. Because you don't have a character who's just running from everything constantly. She's got, like, that nice... I don't know. I also just really like the concept of an engineer character. I don't know why. I just like the concept of that. Well, anyways, this is gonna do it for this video. Have a lovely day.